The Toronto Raptors are going for it, as they made what could end up being the biggest move of this deadline. That's debatable, but they still made a splash as they acquired the leader of the grit and grind era, former Grizzlies center Marc Gasol. This year for Gasol has not been the best, but I think he's had enough good moments, mainly to open up the year and then perhaps the last 2 weeks or so, to suggest that he can show up on this Raptors team and give them perhaps the best center minutes that they've gotten in a long time. But the question is, how good really is he at this point? I mean, is his shot going to go in consistently for this team? Is he still the same defensive player? Can he be effective on the boards? Has age caught up to him? Well, the first thing I want to look at is his potential fit with Kyle Lowry. As we know, Lowry has been one of the best passers in the league this season, and if Marc Gasol's jump shot is going in, then I think that could be a natural fit between those two. Pick and rolls, pick and pops, drive and kick. The stylistic pairing of Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol, I think, makes a lot of sense. But again, it's going to depend on, can Marc Gasol just make his jump shots? Because if he can, then I think it's a perfect fit. Because while the Raptors' offense is effective, it's not the most detailed thing in the world. There is a lot of just simple sets, and that's fine as long as you have guys who can make them. I mean, there have been parts of this season where Gasol has not been able to make a shot to save his life, so which one are we going to get? I don't know. Now, we should also talk about his fit with Kawhi Leonard. I don't think it would come as seamless as how he's going to play off of Lowry, just because Kawhi is not a natural playmaker, but even so, he commands so much attention from the defense that I could picture Gasol setting screens for Kawhi in those similar pick and pops and all that he would for Lowry, and it'll still be really difficult to defend, and Marc should be able to provide spacing for Kawhi when he goes into ISOs and all that. Another part of Marc's game we got to talk about is his playmaking, as he's been averaging about 5 assists a game over the past month or so. It'll be interesting to see if the Raptors give him the ball in the low block, because if they do, that could open up shots for this entire team. I know Nikola Jokic has been praised as the best passing big in the league, but Marc is no slouch, as he can whip passes from the baseline to the corner if you give him the opportunity. And with guys like Danny Green, who's a knockdown shooter, and Fred VanVleet, who has been improving on his jumper as the year has gone along, and then with the big two, of course, with Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry, that could create some more open looks for the rest of these Raptors, and that could be huge for Lowry because his three-pointer has been a bit iffy this season, and maybe his confidence has been hit a little bit by that. So I don't think Gasol's impact is going to come just from scoring. And speaking of things besides scoring, we do have to talk about his defense. The Grizzlies were still awesome defensively this year. They were like 6th in defensive rating. Yeah, Gasol is not the most athletic guy in the world, but he's big, he knows how to play defense, and he just cares. You put all that together, and the dude has been a big impact on that side of the floor, and the Raptors are already very good there, so that could go pretty okay as well. But we do have to talk about where this could end up going wrong, and that is the front court logjam that is now developed. There's 3 guys who want to play the power forward and center position, and all 3 of them deserve it. Serge Ibaka has been great this year. It's his best season in a long time, as Nick Nurse has moved him to the center position. It's made this team a lot more athletic. He looks way more motivated than ever, and his jump shot has been going in for the most part. And then you got Pascal Siakam, who is basically their version of Draymond Green, where it's energy plays and going down floor in transition, and it doesn't always look pretty, but when you look up, he's got 15 points and 7 rebounds and 2 blocks and 2 steals, and his impact was massive. But I think Marc Gasol has the expectation that he's going to start for this team, and you could make an argument that he still should be starting at the center position. So what's going to end up happening? Who's going to get moved to the bench? And which combination of these 3 is going to be the most successful? So if it was up to me, I would actually start Siakam at power forward because I think he's a better player than Ibaka. And I think the fit with him and Gasol, it just kind of makes a lot of sense. I feel like Siakam's ability to cut and just the way that he manufactures baskets, I think that would go really well with Marc Gasol's playmaking, and because Siakam can take it on the floor himself, then Gasol could space out for some jumpers. But Ibaka is the veteran, and I do think that matters. I mean, if this was 2K, it wouldn't be an issue, but in real life, it can be. Also, though, if you're moving Ibaka to power forward, does his effectiveness just drop off? Because his value this season, to me, has really come from him playing the center position. So there are definitely some questions that the Raptors are going to have to answer there. But the reason I still like this move a lot is, number one, they didn't really give up that much for the guy. And then number two, the upside is still pretty big. I mean, if you can figure out those three guys, then you've really got something on your front court. Now, if we can look at the other teams in the East, Gasol may be able to handle Joel Embiid. I mean, Embiid is certainly more athletic than Marc, but Marc's a pretty strong dude. He's a very good post defender, and perhaps he's the answer for Joel not dropping 30 and 15 on you in a playoff series. And another reason why Gasol's jumper is so important, that could give Embiid some problems. Giannis can put up similar numbers if you don't have an answer for him. And to be fair, it may be impossible to defend this Bucks team, especially after they just got Nikola Mirotic, and I will make a video on that one. But maybe Marc Gasol can protect the rim against Giannis. There's a chance that Gasol is a better version of Al Horford, so maybe the Celtics won't actually be a matchup problem with him, which I think would negate a lot of their stuff. And I don't know if I can say that about Ibaka or Siakam. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this move. Maybe I'm being a little too nice to Marc Gasol, because I did see some people on Twitter kind of trashing him, but I think he's still got something in him, and I do think he could have a pretty positive impact for this Raptors team, so I'm excited to see it.